The views and opinions expressed in this content are that of a continuously evolving nature and are subject to change as humanity evolves into higher states of awareness.
Hello again, my fellow empaths. This is just Lee again, and I wanted to make another quick update about this anxiety shift going on at the moment because it is pretty extreme, okay? And I've just come back from a hotel which I've sat in for literally 4 hours because I didn't want to come home. And the reason I didn't want to come home is because I didn't want to be alone, but I didn't want to be with a lot of people as well, because sometimes as empaths we get very uncomfortable around a lot of people, but we also get very uncomfortable being alone as well sometimes. So you've got to try and find that fine balance. But the reason I didn't want to come home is because of the anxiety at the moment, okay? So I wanted to talk a little bit more about that. Because a lot of people on the comments, which has been a lot by the way, I've had a lot of comments on the status I put on yesterday asking if anybody has had anxiety over the last few days, and the amount of comments has been unbelievable. And a lot of people are saying that the anxiety itself is kind of very scatty, so you cannot make a decision, you cannot relax, you're very restless. And this is what's happening with me as well. It's extremely restless, and I can't meditate. I've tried to meditate and it just literally doesn't work. So I thought I'm just going to go with it, and I wanted to talk a little bit more about that and some of the comments that you left as well, because one of the people that commented said that they're going through a hard time at the moment as well, which a lot of us are. A lot of us are going through a hard time as well as this shift, which is kind of putting pressure on it as well. It's like a really hard thing to go through right now, especially the person that commented regarding getting the teeth removed. You're a soldier, okay? You're literally a soldier. You are amazing how you're putting up with all this at the moment, and you're going to become very powerful because of this. And I think this is why these energy shifts are happening. This is why we have to deal with this anxiety as empaths, okay? Because the more negative emotions and the more hardship we go through, the more powerful we become to help others. And this is what being an empath is. The only reason we're an empath is because we've had so many bad experiences throughout our life. It's made us an empath, okay? We've had that many bad things happen to us. We literally can feel everything now, and the reason we can feel it is because we've been them before, okay? Everybody around us we can feel, we've been on that vibrational frequency before, so we understand it. And what's hard about this shift is it's kind of upgrading our DNA. It is part of the Mercury Retrograde. I think it is part of that. But it's not easy, okay? And I think you are all doing an amazing job. And I'm trying myself to handle this in the best way I can. Because I'm going through a bad time at the moment. I only split up with my partner 2 weeks ago after a 2-year relationship. And it's the first time I've decided to be alone, okay? Because I realised that all through my life I've been jumping from relationship to relationship because I've had a fear of being alone. So I finally decided to make that jump, and I'm already going through a horrible anxiety in my mind due to being alone eventually, which is pretty hard when you've got no family. But basically the shifts come along at these times when we're already going through things as well. So it's kind of like a double impact on what we're doing. But a lot of us are handling it very well, despite a lot of us saying it's quite hard, okay? So I want to talk a little bit more about what it's like to be an empath and why we go through these shifts as well. Because what I've observed in my life is that these shifts always make us stronger. And the more hardship we go through, the more we become powerful. And the reason we need the power is to help others. So empaths are here to help the world. We're literally here to help change the old paradigms and bring in the new. And one of the places I see this happening a lot, and one of the places which is very hard to be as an empath, is work situations. And I want to go into a little bit of depth about what happens at work and what we see as empaths. So you as an empath, you'll realize that when you're at work, you find it very hard. It's almost like mental torture, being around many people with all different kind of consciousness levels, and many of which are not awakened in the way we are. So they're kind of stuck in society, and they don't really question things enough. And the conversations they have is mostly not things that we're really interested in, okay? And it's very hard to be around that type of energy, especially when we're going through this anxiety in our heads. And what I see a lot is I see a lot of people being mistreated at work, because the people who run these companies don't really understand the principles of humanity, and they don't understand how to make people's lives better. But we as empaths, we see all that, you see. We see exactly what needs to be done. We see every little new thing that comes in, like every little new regulation that comes into work. We already know what it's going to do as empaths, because we see it. We know exactly what it's going to cause, what stress it's going to cause, who it's going to affect, the future it's going to cause for the company, what stress it's going to cause yourself going into work every day. Because most people, let's face it, are going into work every day depressed, okay? They don't like going to work. And what these big companies don't realize is that if the staff are unhappy, the customers are unhappy, and the business is unhappy, and it's all destined to fail. So the more pressure they put on staff, the more it's destined to fail, because everybody's a loser, you see. Whereas what needs to change is there needs to be more love, there needs to be more acceptance, there needs to be less rules and regulations in the workplace. And we as empaths are one of the people that are here to change that, because when you really think about it, guys, who else is going to change it apart from empaths? Who's gonna stand up and say something, okay? Which is very hard to do, because you can't just go to your boss and say, look, I'm not happy with these new regulations, I don't want to do them, okay? Because that'll cause conflict with you and your boss, because your boss doesn't want to hear that. And the reason they don't want to hear that is because they've got fear. They fear what their superior will think of them, and then their superior fears what they'll think of them, and it goes all the way up to the top. And these people at the top, it's not so much the bad people, it's just they don't know all the problems that they're causing, because nobody tells them, because they don't dare tell them because of fear. And it's these people at the top, they usually get there because they're not an empath, okay? Because if they were an empath, they wouldn't have got to these high positions anyway. They would have realised what's right and what's wrong, and how to create a nice positive work environment. So during this shift, work is a very, very hard place to be. And you'll almost kind of, I said this on the last video, you'll be kind of a bit stuck in your head, and you'll be like, I'm trying not to listen to these conversations around us about general things like what's on the news, like the coronavirus, this and that. You try not to listen to it because you know that it's lowering the vibrational energy. And as an empath, we feel that energy lowering, okay? We know exactly what's good for everybody and what's bad for everyone. And we just want to go on this higher vibrational state again. And this shift, it's very hard to do that, okay? But I've tried meditation, it's not working. I've tried to kind of think positive, it's very hard to do that, but you can do it to an extent. The only thing we can do is like ride this out, okay? Because once we've got through this, we're going to have a lot more power, okay? We're going to be a lot more happier, and we're going to be, our DNA will have upgraded even more, and we'll be able to have more power to help the world. And if you are an empath and you agree with what I'm saying here, how we have to help the world, then what I would suggest is help the world, okay? Like literally say what you think. Don't be scared to tell truth. Don't be scared to say the truth to anybody, okay? Because telling the truth has good karma. Telling lies has bad karma. Control, all these other things, all these bad things in the world has bad karma, and that's why it's making the world bad. But we're the only ones here who have the power to change that. Believe that. Empaths are here because we've got the power to change that. So if you've got anything you've learned as an empath, say it, okay? Please make a video. I urge you to make a video and just say what you know. Tell the world your knowledge, okay? It doesn't matter if some people know, some people might not know, okay? What you've learned might be different to what I've learned. What you've learned will be different to what other people have learned. Everybody has different experiences from different paradigms. Everybody's reality is different, although we're all connected, but we all see things in different ways. One person might learn something another person hasn't learned, and if you put that knowledge out there on YouTube or these groups on Facebook, just put it out there, make a video, put your knowledge out there. And the more we do this, the more we can connect. And the more we can connect, the more we can come together as one, as empaths, and the word will spread. Okay, the word will spread. It's not an easy job being an empath. It's very hard, but we are here to change the world, and some of the best people in the world have been empaths. Jesus was one of them. Jesus was a good teacher. He was like us. He just wanted to change the world, and he wasn't afraid to do it. Okay? At the time, the world wasn't ready for it, and they had procedures in place which are not here now, so we are a lot safer now. So you can do it now. We've got the tools to do it now. Okay? We've got the social media. Some people say YouTube's trying to clamp down on the awakening, okay? I'm a witness to that myself, because my channel, I've got a channel on YouTube called Real Spirit Dynamics, and if you haven't checked it out yet, please subscribe if you can, because I make a lot of videos about the awakening and to help empaths as well. And a few months ago, my channel literally quartered the views. The views just quartered overnight. So a lot of people think YouTube are trying to crack down on this because they're probably being told by the governments that they don't want the awakening, because the governments are trying to stay in this old paradigm of control, and it's an old paradigm. It's based on greed and selfishness. Okay, it's never going to last, because anything to do with greed and selfishness has negative karma, and it's all going to end up going crazy. Okay, it's all going to end up just breaking up and disintegrating into the universe, because the universe is all about love. That's why it puts people like us on the planet, so that we can love others, help others, and promote love, because without love, who else is going to do it? If it wasn't for us empaths, who else is going to help change the world? That's what we're here for, guys. So put your stuff out there, please. Just anything you learn, leave a status, leave a message for someone. Make a video, make a YouTube channel. Just put everything you out there, because once it's on YouTube, it's there forever. Okay, even if you don't get hardly any views now, you never know, in the future, even after you've passed, the video might excel, because your knowledge might be different to what other people know, and your knowledge might be what people need in 50 years time, 100 years time, even 200 years time, because once it's out there for good. Okay, and the way technology is going now, whatever we put out there is going to be there forever. Okay, nobody's going to delete that, because there's always going to be a copy somewhere. So just think about that, guys, and remember, these shifts are for our own good. These are going to make us more powerful, so look forward to the new energy. Okay, try not to get down, just go with this anxiety at the moment, and please leave a comment about this if you're going through the same as me and you think the same as me, or you want to help people evolve as well. Just leave a comment. And I'm sorry for going on a little bit of a rant there, guys. I know it's been quite a long video, but I wanted to give another update, because a lot of people are feeling this anxiety lately, and I think it's going to bring out a lot of good and a lot more power for us empaths, and we're all going to come together as one, and we're going to really help change the world. Okay, this is coming. This is the future. So thank you for your time today, guys, and I'll see you on the next video.